A Jewish story. This week's story from the Holocaust is taken from the book Still Alive, a Holocaust Girlhood Remembered, written by Ruth Kluger. Death Camp. The same evening when we finally lay down to rest in the middle row of the bunk, 5 to a row, my mother explained to me that the electric barbed wire outside was lethal and proposed that she and I should get up and walk into that wire. I thought I hadn't heard her correctly. If to love life and to cling to it is the same, then life has never been dearer to me than in the summer of 1944, in Camp B2B in Birkenau. I was 12 years old, and the thought of dying now without delay in contortions by running into electrically charged metal on the advice of my very own mother, whom God had created to protect me, was simply beyond my comprehension. The idea of it, I couldn't grasp it. I fled into the comfort of believing that she couldn't have meant it. Persuaded myself that she was only out to frighten me. Resented that she was up to bad tricks. Hadn't she often scared me for nothing? My mother accepted my refusal nonchalantly, as if she had merely offered me a walk in the country in peacetime. Okay, whatever you say. And she never returned to her suggestion. I knew my mother no better than most children know their parents, which isn't very well. Perhaps a certain wild, destructive pleasure was at the root of her proposal, but more probably she was quite serious and quite desperate. As I think back, I ask myself if I have ever forgiven her that worst evening of my life. Of course I have, but who can count the sparks in the ashes? We never talked about this exchange again, not in all the years that passed before her death at 97. Yes, there were moments when I had the urge to say, that first evening in Birkenau, did you mean it or not? But then I pulled in my feelers like a snail that has learned a bit more than it needs to about the outside world and is happy enough in its shell. I figured she was not going to give me an honest answer, but would say whatever happened to suit her at the given moment. Besides, I detested any intimacy with my mother, and what could be more intimate than such a question? Only when I had children of my own did I realize that one might well decide to kill them in Auschwitz rather than wait. I now believe that I would have had the same thought and perhaps carried it out more efficiently. For to kill oneself is a relatively familiar idea, especially if you come from a country like Austria, where the suicide rate is high. Doing oneself in is a common topic of small talk, and a remarkable number of people have tried to do just that one or more times. Committing suicide is a homespun, almost cozy idea for many cultures, and certainly more acceptable than the prearranged death at Birkenau. Please pass on this story.